Hello YouTubers and welcome to another video. Today I have a very much hyped speaker to talk to you about, and it's the LS50 Meta. So a bit of background, I'm on the hunt for some speakers. So ever since I moved my monitor audios upstairs, I've been on a bit of a run. So I got some amps, some new amps, Audiolab 6000A, 8300A, reviews coming. Now I've got the 8300 XP, which is an amp only, no preamp, no anything inside. So I've been trying it with all these amps with my old monitor audio RX1s. And as I went up in the amp level, I thought, well, maybe it's time for a new speaker. And of course, everyone seems to be talking about these in the most bright light. Well, not everyone, a lot of people realize they are a bit overrated, but you know, they sell like they sell bucket loads of this stuff, and there are no shortage of people out there talking about this being the reference speaker at this kind of a price point. What hi-fi, I'm not quite sure how much I trust what hi-fi, I'm not sure what the commercial aspects are with them, but they rate these as the best speaker in their category for years in a row. So I felt like, you know, this is a good place to start. I want to see how my RX1s, my monitor audio RX1s, which I bought in 2011 or 12 or something like that, how do they fare with a more modern speaker? And in my mind, I thought so many years of development, they're going to sound better. So I got these babies, really expensive, paid a lot more for this than I paid for the monitor audios. I think even adjusting for price, maybe adjusting for price, they would be not so, they're in the same category, considering I bought them so long ago. So these are it. I got them in like this gray finish with a kind of a reddish diaphragm. Also a speaker cone here. I like it. I think it looks cool. I think it looks, this is a speaker, and I'm just looking at the image now as it films. It's a speaker that looks better on a picture or on a YouTube video than it does in person. I think in person, I'm not oversold on the kind of it's modern, it's futuristic, but I'm not kind of sold on the design language here, you know, not really the design language that I would call beautiful. They are hefty, really hefty, so they're really substantial weight, and the casing is really strong. At the back, you got obviously like your speaker terminals, which feel, they're plastic, but they got some metal inside, so it oozes quality. I think it feels very premium. You got your bass port here, and it comes with a little foam here, and you can take the center bit of the foam out. I don't know if you can see that. This center bit comes out, so I guess you can have like two bass responses, or bass responses. Yeah, all in all, like construction wise, I think they're really cool. I mean, I think might have marked it here. I hope it's okay. So bear that in mind, you know, like this is painted, so that paint is going to mark itself. Yeah, so I think construction wise they are pretty hefty and well built. You know, about this diaphragm here, I looked, this is not a traditional kind of a speaker cone or diaphragm. You can see like it's got like this center bit here, which is the tweeter, and then the outer ring here is the mids and bass speaker itself. The rubber that goes around here is actually a different format from what I'm used to. Usually like it's just a little how do you say, spherical, kind of like a little lip that goes around, but this has got this funny shape, and I found out that it actually goes all the way to the side here as well. So it's got an L shape, all that rubber. For one of the things I've noticed, compared to the monitor audios, is just how little travel there is on the driver here. There's not so much kind of a travel on the driver, and was surprising because, of course, you know, in order to sometimes music demands, you know, that a lot of travel on the driver. But I think Kev's developed this over the years. I think this diaphragm or whatnot is like on its whatever generation, and Kev prides itself for delivering a sound that is kind of like uncoloring. So it's just as, I mean, when you open the box, it says, there's a statement there saying, you know, proud to be producing sound that is faithful to the original recording, and blah blah blah. So they take a lot of pride in that. And you know, for one reason or another, these are very popular speakers among the audiophile world. Yeah, weird construction for the driver assembly here, but you know, all in all, really solid speaker, heavy. So I had high expectations about it. So as soon as I plugged it in, I was impressed with the detail and clarity. They are very good speakers in that sense. They deliver a lot of detail and clarity. Where I wasn't so much impressed is the presence, by which I mean the weight that the sound carries. So like the mid-range and the instruments and the voices and the bass in particular, they all lack a little bit of weight. And I'm using Audiolab amplifiers, which are weighty in themselves. So you would have thought it would have been a good match for this. But that's what I felt. So there was a lot of clarity and detail in the music. Dynamics was nice. You could hear things very, very clearly. But the overall presentation was a little bit on the light side. So no weight, no real kind of like oomph to the music. A lot of people out there talk about these being optimized for usage with subwoofer, and that might well be the case. But if you start adding a subwoofer of the similar price and all this kind of stuff, you know, you're not looking at now you're looking at a much higher price tag, and you know, you start entering the territory of some other speakers which are probably better than these. I don't think necessarily a subwoofer is required for music unless you are really into EDM or rap, or you really need that sub bass. I think some good bookshelf speakers that can bring the lower frequencies to about 45, 50, I think that's okay. I think the lower frequency on this is I don't know, what is it, a 70 or 80, so it's quite high. So but they still punch, you know, like you can still hear the bass, and the bass is very defined. But as I say, it lacks, the whole music presentation lacked body to me. And it didn't matter whether I went with the cheaper amplifier or the highest amplifier. That was the general feeling I had, especially as I was comparing it with my monitor audios. And I'm just gonna take this one out of the way for now, so I can put the monitor audio on here. So this is the monitor audio, and as I say, this is a speaker I've had for since 2011. I bought it and I was using it with you know, just an all-in-one Marantz CR502 that I got with it at the time. But as soon as I started giving it juice from proper amplifiers, this speaker grew. The sound scaled up to a better amplifier, and I'm getting levels of bass, levels of detail, levels of musicality from this speaker that I didn't think was possible. So I think you know, some people say, oh yeah, the amplifier, the speaker is the most important thing, but there's more to that story, because I wasn't taking full advantage of the speaker I had until I got a really good amplifier. So now I'm getting sound from this speaker, the Monitor Audio Silver RX1, that I never had before from this speaker. And when I compare the sound from the Monitor Audio to the KEF, what I'm getting is a lot more weight, a lot more presence, the musical notes and the vocals are a lot more weighty and a lot more present, and you can feel the music a lot more. The detail and the spacious detail is sweeter to my ears than it is with the KEF. I think there's no shortage of detail, so if I was comparing detail between these two, I think they're on a par on level of detail, but I think the KEF detail is a little bit less smooth compared to the detail that I'm getting from the Monitor Audio RX1s. I'm getting the detail with some weight attached to it, and when the sound moves and there's like these little things in the background, I'm enjoying listening to music on the Monitor Audio RX1s far more than I'm enjoying listening to music on the KEF LS50 Meta. That was almost immediately obvious to me that music is a lot more pleasant, dynamic, present, organic on here than it is on here. Here the sound is a little bit dry. There's detail, but I find it to be a little bit dry and, what's the expression? Dry and almost boring, if you like, you know, like, yeah, and definitely not as smooth, right? So not as enjoyable, not as pleasant to my ears as the Monitor Audio RX1s. In terms of construction and just overall design, I do think the Monitor Audios are a much classier speaker. Look at it, I particularly like this color, they look amazing. The level of detail, so this mid-range driver here, if you could feel it, it's mounted ever so slightly angled, you know, so there's a little bit of a millimeter coming out here and not so much here, and it's the same with the other speakers, so it's not a defect. I think they made it like that on purpose. The level of construction and detail on this Monitor Audio is absolutely amazing to this day. Whereas this diaphragm has hardly any movement, and I can see it flex, you know, that's the thing as well, I can see it flex, yeah, and it's got this rubberized feel. So I'm trying to be impartial here, but I'm really not, you know, a fan of this design. Compared to this one, there's a lot more travel on here. You can feel it, and the rigidity, this is a lot more rigid. It's aluminium. I think this is aluminium as well, but it's coated with some rubbery thing. But there's no travel, and when I try to do that, I can see it flexing, and I think it's probably having this massive hole in the middle doesn't help to rigidity and so on. This one is super rigid, you know, there's absolutely no flex, and it moves. But one of the things I really like about the Monitor Audio, and I think they still use this technology to this day, is this tweeter here. I can't remember exactly the technology, C-Cam something tweeter. These tweeters sound very, very lush. Very detailed, very lush, non-piercing, really, really, really nice. It's a much boxier speaker compared to the KEF. If you look from the side here, the KEF's got like this futuristic kind of design. Looking at the back, the Monitor Audio, for all it's worth, you can do be-wiring or bi-wiring. This is all brass and stuff. You know, the quality of construction on this, they've got a serial number on here, so this is serial number 500948, so that's a cool touch there. And this is just an amazing speaker, and I'm glad I got the KEF. Because I was thinking initially that you know, having upgraded all my amplifiers and DACs and things, that I was now in need of a newer speaker that could benefit from all that new equipment that I have. But the conclusion I got is that this speaker was waiting for quality juice. So now I'm very, very happy with the Monitor Audio Silver RX1, and this is an old speaker. You know, we're talking like 12, 13 years old already. Absolutely in love with it. It owes nothing to the KEF. It actually surpasses the KEF in pretty much every aspect, but especially presence and musicality. The KEF is a little bit on the dry side. Yeah, and I don't like the design too much. It looks, I mean, you might like it. As I say, it looks better in videos and photos than it does in person. Yeah, I just can't get my head around just how short the movement is on there. But it's a super high quality speaker, you know, and yeah, I'm just not sure that all the hype around it is actually warranted. Now that I've compared it to my good old RX1. So now what I'm thinking is, what's a modern monitor audio speaker gonna sound like? Is it gonna sound better than this? Or was this a bit of a golden age? Or, you know, because I think with speakers, you know, it's not necessarily that it's more modern. I think the technology is pretty much the same technology that it's ever been. So I'm not quite sure what kind of improvements they could have made. And in today's world, it's all a little bit more cutthroat. There's a lot more competition. So I'm not sure if you know, the finance people have gotten hold of you know, the engineers, and they said, look, you know, we can't use crossovers like that anymore. We can't do this. We can't do that. I'm very, very happy with the Monitor Audio RX1. Super happy that I'm not gonna have to spend money on a new speaker. I should have been happy with the sound of this, because it was already very good. But that was like a little bug in me saying, you know, David, try a newer speaker, and we'll see. You know, you got a new amp, or we can. But unfortunately, the KEF is not for me. There's other possibilities out there, either getting the newer silver model, or if you go a little bit, PMC, I think, does really good speakers. There's Q Acoustics. There's quite a lot of ELAC. So there's quite a few speaker brands, but KEF, I'm gonna write it off. Especially, I mean, this. I don't know if the Q350 is gonna be any better than this, because this is bigger. But I'm not really a fan of the whole design here, and. So yeah, so that's my review / opinion of the KEF LS50 Meta, and comparison with the Monitor Audio Silver RX1. Very old, amazing. If you can buy these on second hand, go and get them, because these are super cool. By the way, most of the testing is done on a near field setup. I did take them downstairs for a living room setup, like movies and stuff, and I haven't even tried the KEF downstairs, you know, like, because already in near field is already lacking a little bit of oomph. So I think, you know, in a larger room is probably going to be a little bit even more lacking. So that's my 2 cents. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for subscriber. I saw a couple of subscribers recently. And, you know, if you want to comment. Thank you very much, and see you next time.